Customer made a really expensive mistake. He added exhaust fluid to the fuel tank and then drove it until the engine died. Yeah, you're screwed. Gonna need an entire fuel system replacement. You're screwed. This is gonna be expensive. 2023 Chevy Silverado with about 8,300 miles on it. Ended up getting exhaust fluid added to the fuel tank. Really expensive mistake to make. Unfortunately, this is going to be probably coming out of the customer's pocket. I'll show you what the fuel filter looks like, what the inside of the fuel tank looks like. I've already got it disassembled. I've got the fuel tank removed. This is a new filler hose. I'll show you what the inside of the old filler hose looked like. So everything has to be replaced. Anything that touches fuel needs replaced. These are all going to get replaced. I removed the fuel filter housing from here. All of this needs to get replaced. So here's the high pressure pump. Got exhaust fluid, hard to see, but it's exhaust fluid in the high pressure pump. And then the lines from the pump come up here to the rail. And we've got exhaust fluid right here at the rail, the return line on the rail. We've got exhaust fluid inside all 6 injectors. So at this point, there's no saving the system. You have to replace everything. Let's see what it looks like in here. I haven't even opened up that. Can't really tell easily just by looking, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot more exhaust fluid in this rail. After I remove this and dump it out, I'll be able to see more. So this fuel tank was full when it came in. You can see the crystallized exhaust fluid on the line there. Some exhaust fluid there. See the contamination all up inside that sender. Chalky white exhaust fluid. Let me get a better view in there. Alright, see all that white stuff at the bottom? That's all exhaust fluid, and that is a really expensive mistake to make. This is the fuel filter housing. Fuel filter. That watery, it's basically just all exhaust fluid. Customer said that he only added about 1/3 of a gallon exhaust fluid, and he drove the vehicle 50 feet and it shut off and failed to start. Well, at that point, the engine, the damage is done. Obviously, the exhaust fluid has made it up to the injectors in that short amount of time. And he asked if we could replace the fuel filter and flush everything out and get it back running. I said, no, there's no way. We're not even going to waste the time flushing it, because you can't flush the injectors out. You can't flush the rails out. You can't flush any of this stuff out. And once exhaust fluid touches it, exhaust fluid's corrosive. So the damage is done. And I just wanted to show you guys, here's why we cannot flush the fuel system after it's been contaminated in this way. See that? We've got exhaust fluid there. Right there in the rail, exhaust fluid. Look inside the injection pump here. crystallized exhaust fluid on the outlets. Got some crystallized exhaust fluid there. There was already some nasty watery looking stuff pouring out of this. Look at that. You would never be able to flush this pump. You would never be able to save this. All of this is inside of that and inside the rest of the system. Let's see what we get out of this fuel rail. Same deal. It's all full of white, chalky, dried up contamination. Looks like it's already started to corrode on this iron fuel rail too. Can't really see a whole lot on the injectors other than just little bits of exhaust fluid on the return ports. Some of them you can see some exhaust fluid in the inlet. Through that one you can see some exhaust fluid. That one for sure. Also, these injectors have 8,300 miles on them, and they've already got a nice amount of soot on them. Soot and carbon, and 8,300 miles, so I don't really think that's anything wrong with the engine or anything negative. That's just an observation I made. So I need to record the flow code off of each of these injectors so that I can program the code in when I'm done. And I'm actually going to use this video as a reference later so that I have all the numbers for all 6 injectors. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's all of the new fuel system components, new injectors, new lines, new rail. Everything's torqued to spec. Got new return lines, got new feed lines. All of this has now been replaced and new fuel filter housing. The only thing that's not reinstalled is the tank, and I've got the new tank ready to go. New filler pipe here. Here's all of the parts in the box. I've got my new tank sitting there with the new lines that are also going to go on top, and that's really all there is to it. So anyways, there you have it. If you thought that you were going to be able to successfully flush the exhaust fluid out of your fuel system, think again, because it's not going to happen. The damage here happened in 5 minutes or less. I spoke with the customer about it. He was really, he's upset. It made him sick to the stomach, of course. No one wants this to happen to him. But it was a simple mistake. He just squeezed a little bit of exhaust fluid. It was from a pump, not a jug, but he squeezed a little bit of exhaust fluid from the pump into the tank. And then I guess he started it and ran it. I don't know that or not, but I told him even if you didn't start it, that there was a chance that when you hit the key or opened the door, it would run the pump, and it was gonna fill the fuel system anyway, because this is a self-bleeding, self-priming fuel system. So as the pump runs, it pushes fuel out, and then when it gets here, see, this is your return line, which is linked to the feed line at the same time. So as fuel pumps through, it will actually pump through the return lines out and self-prime itself, and that's how you quickly get exhaust fluid throughout the whole system, whether you started the engine or not. Okay, well, I think that's all I've got for this one. Be careful out there, folks. Also, check this out. The customer just brought this in. This is a little fuel cap that he just bought off Amazon. It comes with a magnet that you can, say, glue there. You could stick it there. So I thought this was a really good idea, because just adding this little cap here, adding that one more little step probably could have prevented, because there's no cap. This is a capless piece of crap. If you stick the DEF nozzle right down that hole without thinking, you just made the mistake and it costs a bunch of money. So if we add this one little step, oh hey, that's not the right hole, it's this one. I don't know.